Hi, everyone. So, I want to share a story about 6 consecutive dreams that I had when I was a little girl. And what I mean by 6 consecutive dreams is like I started dreaming and then I woke up and then I lived my life. And then when I went back to bed, I continued the dream that I had first. Okay. So, that happened for 6 consecutive evenings. And I always had a lot of dreams as a child. I don't have them as much anymore. Um, but I did a lot of like demons chasing after me type dreams and not wanting to breathe because they're gonna find me if I exhale or inhale. It's like if I just do that, they're gonna find me. Like so, I had a lot of those types of dreams growing up. But this one stood out because I don't know of anybody who has had 6 consecutive dreams. So this is the dream. And so the very first dream was it was kind of like Star Trek, kind of Twilight. It was like, light speed. And I'm seeing all these rays of like laser, but I'm in outer space and stars kind of stuff. And then at the end of like this tunnel, wherever I was going, I see it looks like a charm, like a necklace type charm. Um, but it was a key. And then I look at it, I grab it, I look at it, and I wake up. Okay, so that was dream one. Dream two, I have the exact same dream. Twilight, starlight, kind of lasers. And but at the end of this tunnel, I end up grabbing. It looks like a heart charm. It was like a just this is just a simple like a silver heart charm, and I grab it. I look at it, and I wake up. Now, in the third, same thing. Twilight, everything, and at the end, what I end up grabbing is like a charm, but it's a book. It's a book, and it was like open. It was like a basically like a charm of like a Bible or something because it was like a fat little tiny book. Okay, now in the fourth dream, I use the key that I got in the first dream to open. I'm in front of a door, and I go and I open it, and the door opens, and all of a sudden, boom! I'm on the street. There's no house behind me. There's no door. There's no nothing. And I feel like I was in hell or some type of representation of a hell type thing. The sky is red. There's buildings. It's like a city. I grew up in Hartford, Connecticut. Um, there's the like city, but the sky is red. There's no blue sky, and everything's kind of dark. And I go and I'm looking at the corner, and everybody's dead. And dead but alive, like they're alive, they're moving, but what they're doing is it's like there's one girl here in this corner, she's being raped and no one's helping her, and she's screaming and wrestling, and people are seeing it, they witness it, but they are doing nothing. And then another person over here in the corner, they get like stuck up, like I'm gonna kill you, give me your money kind of thing, and they get shot and they get shot, and they're feeling the wounding and the blood, but they can't die, like they're living like this. So it's like they're feeling all the pain, but they're not dying, they're alive. And so I'm freaking out. You think I must be like 7 or 8 years old having these dreams. I don't fully understand the whole rape thing at the time, but I understood that a little bit of what was happening. I knew about the gun and what getting shot was and the blood and him writhing in pain, but he's still alive. And so I see this and I'm scared. And at the end of the street, I look straight ahead. I see a church. It looks Just looks like a little, like the typical box little church with the little cross on the top. And I think to myself, okay, I'm going to be safe there. So I'm running and I run and I get to this church. So I get there and I'm like, whoa, okay. So I go and I sit down and it's empty at first. And then I don't know if you've ever had a dream where it like changed the channel or whatever, something like that kind of happened. Basically, I was there, I'm sitting, it's empty, and then all of a sudden the church is full. It's like full. And in the Catholic Church, there's a process in the service, the mass, where like these altar boys go and they bring up a tray of the communion tray and things like that. And sometimes there are these little kids that do it. Um, but they go, they're dressed up real nice, and they go and they bring up that the communion, the wine, and the bread up to the priest. Well, in this service, I'm sitting, everybody's in like their Sunday best, and the boy and the girl, little children, are bringing is not wine or communion, but it's a VHS. So back then, when I had the stream, there's no such thing as DVDs. I don't think they came out yet. So VHS was that old like cassette tape. It was like a size of a brick but thinner and plastic. And so they're carrying this tray and it has a VHS. And they go and they bring up this tray to the priest who's in front, and the priest goes and pulls down like a screen, and he puts the VHS on like a projector thing, and it's a pornographic movie that the priest puts up on the screen. And all of a sudden, all these well dressed people in their Sunday best start having this massive orgy, and some of the people, I don't know if they turned into demon dogs or if demon dogs just appeared. The whole thing was uh, everybody in the church um started having this massive orgy, and demon dogs were involved and everything, even the children. Like, it was crazy. So when I start seeing all the legs and dresses go up, I went down to the floor and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. So I start crawling underneath the pews because everybody is having sex on top of the pews. And I am crawling and I'm like trying to get to the back of the church and get out of there. And what happens is I go, and as I'm reaching the very end of the last pew, I see the heart that I collected in the second dream. And so I recognize it and I go and I grab it. I take it and I stand up and I get ready about to run. And the moment I take it and I stand up, every body and demon dog, everybody stops everything that they're doing and looks at me. Okay. And I wake up. So that was dream number 4. Okay. So I go, I live my life. I go back to sleep the next day. And I wake up, and the whole church is staring at me. Okay. Including all those demon dogs. And I'm like, oh, gotta go. So I start running. I start running, and I'm running through the streets, and it looks like a city, like Hartford. And I'm running through in between buildings and streets and stuff, and I'm running, and I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna get me. Like everybody's after me, and I end up taking a turn through an alley, and I come out onto this other street, and I see this gigantic tower It's a tower and it goes up into the sky, but the sky is red. Okay, I'm somewhere. The sky is red, and it goes through this gigantic tower. And I look at it and I remember saying within myself, God, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die trying to reach you. And I'm looking at this tower and I'm like, if I'm going to die, I'm going to try to reach you. In my head, there's no way out of this place. I have no clue where I'm at, but this tower reaches the heavens. And so I'm going to go up it as a symbolic act of trying to reach my Father God, right? So I'm going and it's like spiral, 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 spiral. So this is all dream five. And at the spiral end, there's a door. Okay. And it was kind of funny, and I've analyzed this, with it time, that the door that I was looking at was the door back to my grandmother's house, the second floor where my family used to sleep. Okay. um we the bedrooms were in the second floor and they had stairs. It just went straight up, and then it kind of divided. My grandmother's here and then ours there, but the spiral in that whole situation led me to back to my mom's room, like our room where our family used to sleep. And so I'm going and I knock on the door, and this guy, he looks like he's a demon, but he's dressed in like a fancy robe, like something like a luxury robe kind of thing. And he goes and he gives me a book. Um it's like the Bible, I believe. And he gives me a book and he says, "Here you go." And he tells me, "Go sit over there." And I go and I sit and I'm holding the book and I'm just being obedient. And I just wait. And next thing, he closes the door, and shortly after, you hear boom, 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 boom. It's the whole church demon mob after me. And I'm like just holding this book just holding it for dear life, like I don't know what. And I'm sitting on like a corner, and there was like a bureau next to me, but I'm on the corner here, and my brother used to sleep in front, and there's a TV there, and then there was like my mom's bed, and then it was the porch, the enclosed porch where me and my sister slept was behind me. And I'm watching this demon person open the door, and I hear the mob saying, "Let us in." They're like, "We need to come in. There's someone that is here and we need to get her. May we come in?" And this is something that always struck me because they asked permission to come in. It wasn't like they had authority on their own to just, they were banging on the door, but they didn't like tear down the door. They asked permission. And it totally surprised me when this demon person in a robe says okay. And next thing I see are these two demon dogs and are jumping and sniffing and growling and drooling over everything, but they're jumping on top. They jumped on my brother's bed, on my mom's bed, and they're sniffing all over the place. Then they go into, and I'm in this little corner, and I'm like, oh my goodness, they're right there, right? And I remember even one of those demon dogs actually like coming near my face, and me telling myself like, don't breathe, don't breathe, don't breathe. I'm just like, try. I'm not looking. I'm not nothing. I can't breathe. And it doesn't find me. It doesn't find me. It doesn't smell me. It doesn't nothing. I'm like protected. This book is protecting me. And so the demon dogs are bouncing, they're sniffing, they're drooling. It goes away, and then they get kicked out, and that's it. Now I was so excited when they left that I started jumping up and down. I was holding the book and I was like, they didn't see me. I'm invincible. They didn't see me. I'm invincible. They didn't see me. I'm invincible. And I walk into like the porch area, the enclosed porch, and I start jumping up and down on my sister's bed or mattress at the time, and I'm jumping up and down. I'm like, they didn't see me. I'm alive. They didn't get me. I'm alive. I'm invisible. They didn't get me. They didn't get me. And this whole time that I'm like ecstatic, like I'm in like Tourette's mode here. I don't know what's wrong with me, but like I'm just bouncing. And this the demon robe guy person is trying to talk to me. Like I hear him moving his mouth, blah, 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 but he's not coming. And then all of a sudden he the only word that I hear out of his mouth is fight, and I wake up. So dream number 6, I basically start off and I am in a boxing ring. I'm in a boxing ring, and uh I'm dressed like a martial artist. you know I have like the whole suit and I'm dressed in white and everything. And then on my belt, okay, is the key that I had acquired in the first dream and used in the fourth dream. And there used to be these treasure troll dolls, and they would have like the gem in their belly button and things like that. Well, the heart charm thing was actually embedded in my chest. So there was like a heart thing, and it was embedded. What I had collected, it was embedded in my chest. And I held the book that the demon person in the robe thing he gave me. It was the book. I held that in my hand, and I'm in this boxing ring, and I look around and all I see are shadows. It's like I'm definitely in an arena, and all I see are shadows, and there is a throne in the midst. The sky and the walls, everything is red, and there's a dark shadowy throne and someone on the throne, but it's just shadowy. You see kind of people, but they're just shadows of people or things or its or spirits or whatever. And then I'm fighting. I'm fighting. I fight one demon and I win, and I'm doing this whole karate thing, and I'm fighting a second demon and I win. I'm doing that whole karate thing, and a third, and a fourth, and I'm like, wow, man, I'm winning. This is good. And then the fifth demon comes, and he's like massive built diesel, and I am losing everything that I'm doing. I'm losing. I'm not even striking any type of blow. I'm losing. And I remember seeing this big demon person. I'm on the floor and I'm staring at him with this final fist. And I remember saying to myself, God, if he hits me, I'm going to die. And demon goes and he's about to hit me, and I wake up. So that is dream number 6.